A 73-year-old grandmother in Manchester saved £127 in a single month at her local Tesco. She didn't clip a coupon. She didn't drive between 5 different shops. What she used are what insiders call the loopholes. Perfectly legal tricks that Tesco, Asda and Sainsbury's would much rather you never discovered. Number 14 on this list got an Aldi cashier a stern word from his manager for mentioning it to a customer. Number 8 was quietly tightened by Asda last year because too many pensioners caught on. And number 1. A former Tesco store manager told a Sunday Times reporter that staff are trained specifically to discourage shoppers from asking about it. These aren't dodgy schemes. They're your rights, buried deep in the small print. Hit subscribe before we start, because by the end, you'll never shop the same way again. Let's count down 25 forbidden British pensioner supermarket loopholes. Number 25. The yellow sticker clock. Every Tesco, Asda and Sainsbury's has a reduction schedule, and almost nobody knows their local one. Items get marked down in 3 waves throughout the day. The first wave usually starts around lunchtime with a modest 25% off. The second wave hits in the early evening, often between 5 and 7, taking another chunk off. The final wave, the one savvy pensioners wait for, falls in the last hour before closing, when staff slash prices to 75% or more. A whole roast chicken that started the day at £6 can sit on the shelf at £1.50 by 9:30. Boxes of mince pies during Christmas week have been spotted reduced to 19p each. The schedule varies by store and manager, but if you politely ask a shelf stacker when the markdowns happen, most will tell you straight. Number 24. Loose produce versus pre-packed. This is the trick that genuinely shocks people when they see the numbers. Pick up a 500-gram bag of loose carrots from the produce section. Then pick up a pre-packed bag of carrots beside it. Compare the price per kilo, written in tiny grey print under the headline, Price. 9 times out of 10, the loose carrots are 30 to 60% cheaper per kilo. The same applies to onions, potatoes, peppers, mushrooms, and bananas. A 750-gram pre-pack of bananas at Tesco recently cost 95p. The exact same bananas loose worked out to 53p for the same weight. Supermarkets bank on shoppers grabbing the pre-pack because it feels quicker. Pensioners with a bit of patience and a small reusable bag can knock pounds off the weekly shop without changing a single item in the trolley. Number 23. The World Food Aisle. Walk into any Tesco or Sainsbury's, find the World Food Aisle, sometimes labelled international or Asian foods, and check the prices on basics you already buy. Basmati rice, lentils, chickpeas, tinned tomatoes, herbs, spices, even cooking oil. The exact same products, often in larger quantities, sell for half the price of the equivalent in the main aisle. A 1 kilogram bag of basmati in the World Food Aisle might cost £2.50. The branded equivalent in the main rice aisle, £4.20 for 500 grams. Cumin, coriander, turmeric, paprika, all sold in massive bags for the price of a tiny supermarket jar. The store knows shoppers in that aisle won't pay markup prices, so it quietly stocks identical products and lets everyone else pay double down the next aisle. Number 22. The Iceland Over 60s Tuesday Discount. Every Tuesday, anyone aged 60 or over gets 10% off their entire shop at Iceland and the Food Warehouse. No catch, no minimum spend, no card to sign up for. Just walk in on a Tuesday, do your shop, and tell the cashier you're over 60. Some stores might ask for a quick glance at a bus pass or driving license. Most won't bother. A weekly shop of £45 becomes £40 and 50p. Over a year, that's £234 back in your pocket for doing nothing more than picking a different day to go. Iceland barely advertises this. You won't see it on the front of the shop. You won't see it in the leaflets. The deal has been quietly running for years, but the chain knows perfectly well that most pensioners shop on the same day they always have and never think to ask. Number 21. The whole chicken loophole. A whole raw chicken at Asda or Morrison's currently sells for around £3.50 to £4.50 depending on size. That same chicken, cut into thigh fillets, breast fillets and drumsticks, retails for nearly 3 times that amount in the chilled meat aisle. A pack of 4 chicken breasts alone often costs £5. Pensioners who learn to joint a chicken from their mothers can roast it whole on a Sunday, pull the meat for sandwiches Monday and Tuesday, and boil the carcass for stock on Wednesday. 1 bird, 4 meals, all for the price of half a pack of fillets. Even those who can't be bothered to joint it can ask the butcher counter to do it for free in stores that still have one. The convenience tax on chicken is roughly 250%. Number 20. The wonky veg box. Asda introduced its wonky veg box years ago, and Morrison's followed with its own version. Sainsbury's calls theirs imperfectly tasty. Tesco runs perfectly imperfect. These are boxes of fruit and vegetables that look slightly wrong. A knobbly carrot, a curved cucumber, a slightly small apple. The taste is identical. The nutritional value is identical. The price is around half. A 5-kilo box of wonky veg at Morrison's costs about £3.50 and contains enough produce for a fortnight of soups, stews and roast dinners. Most of it lives in the corner of the produce aisle, where shoppers rush past without noticing. Pensioners who remember post-war kitchens where every potato was used regardless of shape will recognize these boxes immediately. The wonky one in your stew tastes exactly the same as the pretty one in the photo. Number 19. The in-store bakery reduction hour. Every supermarket that bakes bread, croissants and pastries on-site has a strict rule. Anything not sold by closing must be discarded or marked down. The smart pensioners know that in-store bakery reductions usually happen around 7 in the evening, depending on closing time. A sourdough loaf that was £2.50 in the morning often sells for 40p. A pack of 6 croissants drops from £3 to 75p. Iced finger buns and Danish pastries get marked down even more aggressively. Many of these freeze beautifully. A pensioner who pops in at the right hour twice a week can stock their freezer with weeks of bread and pastries for the price of a single full-price loaf. The supermarket would rather you didn't notice this happens like clockwork. Number 18. Stockwell, Hubbard's and the Tier 3 brands. Here's where things get clever. Most shoppers know about Tesco's own brand range. What they don't know is that Tesco actually has 3 tiers of own brand. Tesco Finest at the top, Tesco at the middle, and a deliberately hidden third tier called Stockwell & Co., Ms. Molly's, Eastman's, Suntrail Farms, and Hearty Food Co. These names look like proper independent brands, but they're all Tesco. The biscuits, the cooking sauces, the tinned beans, the frozen meals, all Tesco, all priced 40 to 60% below the main Tesco own brand. Asda does the same with farm stores. Sainsbury's hides its budget meat range under the name J. James and Family. The supermarkets deliberately design these labels to look like small independents. Read the small print on the back. It always says, produced for Tesco plc. Number 17. Asda Just Essentials, and where they're really stocked. Asda revamped its budget range a few years ago into Just Essentials with its bright yellow packaging. The trick is that Asda doesn't stock these items in the most obvious place. The branded versions go at eye level. The mid-tier Asda own brand goes just below. The Just Essentials line tends to be stocked at the very bottom shelf or the very top, often half empty because so few people look there. A tin of Just Essentials chopped tomatoes is around 35p. The branded equivalent right above it is over £1. Spaghetti, kidney beans, cornflakes, tea bags, washing up liquid. The budget version is often a third of the price and indistinguishable in taste tests. Asda was forced by competition watchdogs to integrate the range. They integrated it just at the heights where most pensioners can't comfortably reach. Number 16. Club card prices on alcohol. Tesco's Club Card Prices scheme offers discounts on hundreds of items, but the discount on alcohol is where the real savings hide. A bottle of wine that costs £8 at the shelf might drop to £5.50 with a club card. A case of beer might lose £4 or £5 off the sticker. Spirits often see the biggest cuts, £4 to £6 off a single bottle of gin or whiskey. Why? Because supermarkets use alcohol as a loss leader to drag shoppers into the store. The club card discount on alcohol is often 3 times the discount on grocery basics. Pensioners who stock up on Christmas spirits, anniversary wines, or a regular tipple can save more in a single trip than the rest of the month combined. Crucially, you don't need to be the named cardholder. Borrow a son's, a daughter's, a neighbour's. Save the difference. Number 15. The Petrol Club Card Points Multiplier. Most club card users know that filling up at a Tesco petrol station earns points. What they don't know is that Tesco regularly runs offers where those points triple or quadruple in value when converted to club card reward partners. A tank of petrol earning 50 points becomes 200 points to spend on days out, restaurant meals, RAC membership, or cinema tickets. Reward partners include English Heritage, the Caravan and Motorhome Club, hotel chains, and Steam railway tickets, all things particularly attractive to pensioners with time to spare. Filling up at Tesco rather than a non-loyalty petrol station genuinely costs about the same per litre on average, but the points stack into hundreds of pounds a year of free outings. Most shoppers redeem points against shopping at face value, losing 75% of the points' real worth. Number 14. First pattern break. The free hot drinks scandal. For years, Tesco Cafe offered a free hot drink, tea, coffee, or hot chocolate to anyone with a club card, no purchase necessary. You walked in, showed your card, and walked out with a free cuppa. Pensioners across Britain made it a weekly ritual. Walk to the supermarket, get a free tea, sit down, read the paper, do a small shop, and walk home. It was the kind of community feature that supermarkets used to genuinely care about. Then Tesco quietly added conditions. You now need to spend on the same day to qualify. But here's the loophole. The cafes don't always check, especially in midweek off-peak hours. An Aldi cashier who told a regular customer about a similar in-store tea promotion at Aldi got pulled aside for a stern conversation with his manager. Number 13. Multi-buy splitting at the till. 3 for £5, 2 for £3. Buy one, get one free. These offers are designed to make shoppers spend more, but unless the offer specifically states otherwise, you are entitled to buy just one of the items at the equivalent unit price. If 3 packs of bacon are advertised at 3 for £5, you can buy 1 pack at £1.67. Most cashiers will price adjust at the till if you ask. Some self-checkouts won't, in which case you take the receipt straight to customer service. Even better, on many 3 for 2 offers, you can take all 3, get 1 free, and aren't obliged to buy in multiples. The signage tries to imply you must, but trading standards has repeatedly confirmed otherwise. Pensioners living alone with small fridges benefit enormously. No point buying 3 loaves when one will do. Number 12. The 28-day no receipt refund. Most pensioners assume that without a receipt, you can't return anything to a supermarket. Wrong. Tesco, Asda, Sainsbury's and Morrison's all operate a goodwill refund policy that doesn't strictly require a receipt for low-value items. Within 28 days, take the unwanted product to customer service with the original packaging. If they can verify the purchase through a club card, Nectar card, or Asda Rewards history, you'll get a full refund. Even without that, on items under £10, most managers will refund as a goodwill gesture rather than argue. This includes food that turned out faulty, products that didn't match the description, packs that were nearly out of date when bought. The supermarkets would rather refund £4 than lose a customer worth £4,000 a year. Quiet British politeness costs the average pensioner around £30 a year in unreturned faulty purchases. Number 11. The empty cardboard box trick. Every supermarket gets through enormous quantities of cardboard. The boxes that vegetables, tinned goods and packaging arrive in have to be flattened and recycled. Most stores are happy to give them away free to customers who ask. For pensioners moving house, downsizing, storing Christmas decorations, or posting parcels to family, this is hundreds of pounds saved over a year. Walk up to the customer service desk, politely ask if any empty boxes are available, and most stores will direct you to the back warehouse or hand you a stack right there. Aldi and Lidl are particularly generous because their stocking model relies on customers taking boxes anyway. The supermarkets don't advertise this because they technically save money by selling cardboard back to recyclers in bulk. Each individual store would rather hand boxes to a friendly local than pay disposal fees. Number 10. Second pattern break. The fresh herb scandal. Walk down any supermarket's fresh herb aisle. A small living pot of basil, parsley or coriander sells for around £1.80. The herbs die within a week. A small clamshell of cut herbs costs £1 for about 25 grams. They wilt within 3 days. Now walk to the frozen aisle. A bag of frozen chopped basil, parsley or coriander costs around £1 for 100 grams. 4 times the quantity, 4 times the shelf life. Here's where it gets infuriating. Food scientists have repeatedly tested frozen versus fresh in cooked applications. In stews, soups, sauces, pasta dishes and roasts, frozen herbs perform identically, sometimes better because they release oils faster. The supermarkets keep fresh herbs at eye level in dedicated chilled cabinets because the markup is enormous. Frozen herbs hide at the bottom of the frozen aisle next to the chips. Number 9. The pet aisle trick. This one sounds strange until you check the labels. Certain items in the pet aisle are genuinely identical to their human food equivalents, just packaged differently and priced lower. Tinned sardines and mackerel sold as cat food at the very bottom shelves are often pure fish in oil or brine, with no additives. A tin sold for cats might cost 35 pence. The exact same tin sold as human food on the next aisle costs 95 pence. Dry pulses sold as small animal food, barley, oats, dried peas, are exactly what you'd buy for porridge or stews. Always check the ingredient list. If it says 100% fish or 100% oats with no preservatives, it's identical to human food. Use sensible judgment, of course. But savvy pensioners who grew up in rationing times have been quietly buying barley from the budgie aisle for decades. Number 8. The misprice goodwill rule. When the till charges you more than the price shown on the shelf, you are not legally entitled to the lower price in UK law. That's a common myth. However, every major supermarket has a generous goodwill policy. Tesco, Asda, Sainsbury's, Morrison's and Marks & Spencer will all refund the difference at customer service if you point out a mispriced item. Sainsbury's used to give the item entirely free if mispriced, a policy they quietly tightened a few years ago because too many pensioners caught on. Even today, ask politely and most managers will refund and often add a small goodwill voucher on top. The trick is checking your receipt before leaving the store. Studies have shown that nearly 30% of supermarket receipts contain at least one pricing error. Over a year of weekly shops, that's £120 walking out the door for no reason. Number 7. The reduced corner remark. This is one most shoppers don't dare ask about. When items in the yellow sticker reduced section don't sell, staff often remark them down further, sometimes multiple times before closing. The trick? If you spot an item with a yellow sticker that hasn't sold and the closing hour is approaching, you can politely ask a staff member if they'll be marking it down again. Most stores will, especially on fresh meat, fish and dairy that must be sold or destroyed that night. A salmon fillet marked at £3 might come down to 90 pence with one polite request. Some stores have informal arrangements with regular pensioner customers. Mrs. Edwards comes in at 9 on Wednesdays, and the manager just hands her the leftover meat tray at 80% off. Don't haggle, just ask gently and smile. The food's going in the bin otherwise. Number 6. The pharmacy free services. Most pensioners know that prescriptions are free over 60 in England. What they don't know is that supermarket pharmacies, Tesco, Asda, Boots inside Sainsbury's, Lloyd's, offer a range of additional free services to over 60s that nobody advertises. Free blood pressure checks, free medication reviews, free flu jabs, free advice on minor ailments under the NHS Pharmacy First scheme, which covers 7 common conditions including earaches, sore throats and urinary tract infections. Walk into your supermarket pharmacy, ask if any of these apply, and you might avoid a GP visit entirely. The pharmacist can also help you switch to generic versions of medicines you're paying for privately. A box of branded paracetamol costs £1.20. The generic equivalent costs 39 pence. Same active ingredient, same dose. Supermarkets don't broadcast the free services because they make money on the over-the-counter sales you might be avoiding. Number 5. Third pattern break. The Boots Advantage card stacking. Here's where it gets clever. The Boots Advantage card earns 4 points for every pound spent, and over 60s get a separate enhanced offer where points are worth even more. Crucially, Boots stations inside Sainsbury's stores allow you to use a Sainsbury's Nectar card and the Boots Advantage card on the same purchase. 2 loyalty schemes, 1 transaction. A £40 health and beauty shop earns Nectar points worth around 20 pence and Boots points worth around £1.60. Stack a third loyalty, a cashback credit card, and you're earning 3 separate streams on the same shop. Pensioners who learned this in the early 2000s have racked up thousands of pounds in points sitting unused on cards. A former Boots area manager said staff are trained to process the transaction quietly and not to highlight stacking opportunities. Ask, stack, save. Number 4. The online click and collect bypass. Supermarkets charge for home delivery. Tesco around £4.50 for a popular slot. Asda similar. Sainsbury's around £5 depending on size and time. But click and collect is almost always free once your basket reaches £40 and sometimes free with no minimum at all in off-peak slots. The trick most pensioners miss is that online prices and in-store prices are often different. Online club card prices apply on top of regular online deals. Online exclusive offers sometimes drop the price below in-store. Order online, click and collect at the local store, walk in, pick up the bagged shopping at the front desk. No traipsing the aisles, no queuing, and critically, no impulse purchases. Research shows shoppers spend around 30% more in-store because of impulse displays. Supermarkets prefer you wandering the aisles. The aisle is where their margins live. Number 3. The Co-op Member Benefits Package. Most shoppers think a co-op membership is just a loyalty card. It is far more. For a one-off £1 to join, members get money back on co-op own brand products, plus a further contribution donated to local community causes. Members also get exclusive member-only offers each week, often 30 to 50% off staples. Crucially, members get access to the co-op legal services discount, including significant reductions on wills, lasting power of attorney documents, and probate help, services that pensioners particularly need. A standard solicitor will charge £200 to £400 for a will. A co-op member pays around £150. The co-op funeral plan is also offered at member rates, with savings of several £100s compared to walk-in prices. None of this is advertised in the local co-op branch. The £1 membership is the best pound a pensioner can spend. Number 2. Asda Rewards and the Star Products. Asda launched its rewards app a few years ago to compete with Tesco Club Card. Most shoppers signed up, scanned occasionally, and forgot about it. But buried inside the app is a feature called Star Products, items that earn pound coins directly into your cash pot, rather than just a small discount. A star product might be a £3 jar of coffee that returns £1.50 to your cash pot. A £6 pack of detergent might return £3. The supermarket pays you to buy. Pensioners who shop carefully off the star products list each week have reported building up cash pots of £50 to £80 over a few months, which can then be withdrawn against any future shop. Asda quietly tightened the rules after too many people caught on, capping the maximum monthly earnings. They wouldn't have done that if it wasn't costing them serious money. Number 1. Fourth pattern break. And finally, the loopholes supermarkets dread most, stacking everything at once. A former Tesco store manager told a Sunday Times feature that staff are trained specifically to discourage shoppers from layering discounts. Here's what stacking actually looks like. Pick the day Iceland gives over 60s their 10% discount. Use Tesco Club Card prices on alcohol and yellow sticker reductions in the bakery and meat aisles. Pay with a cashback credit card that returns 1% on supermarket spend. Submit your receipt to a receipt scanning app like ShopMeum that gives money back on specific products. Layer in a Tesco Club Card voucher for trebled value at a reward partner. Each saving feels small. Combined, a £100 weekly shop can deliver £30 to £40 of value back into the household budget. Over a year, that's nearly £2,000, enough to cover the entire winter heating bill. The supermarkets dread this because every layer reduces their margin. Customer service desks have polite scripts trained into staff to gently dissuade shoppers from complex transactions. Don't be dissuaded. Stack everything. Smile politely. Walk out richer than you walked in. So there it is, 25 forbidden loopholes that Tesco, Asda and Sainsbury's would rather you never thought about. My challenge: try just one this week. Walk in on a Tuesday at Iceland, ask about the yellow sticker schedule, stack the boots and nectar cards on a single shop. Then come back and tell me what you saved. Drop the number in the comments. I want to know which loophole made the biggest difference, because the supermarkets bank on you not knowing. Now you know.